How's everybody doing this morning again? Welcome to Interfaith Truth Center. We're located here on Austell Road, 4971 Austell Road to be exact, in Austell, Georgia. We're happy to have you join us, Facebook. We're here with my family here at the center. And we'll invite you to come in to visit us when you're in our area. Again, we're at 4971 Austell Road. We're a metaphysical community center, gift store, gift shop, gift store as well. Come in and, just enjoy some of our Zen atmosphere. Yes. We're going to invite you to our website at www.interfaith.com. Take a look at some of the services and programs and classes, workshops that we offer the community here out in Cobb County. And invite you for surrounding areas to come on out too. We're a small location, but we have a huge heart. And we will go the extra mile for you. If you can't find it in our store, if you give us a good description of it, give us a minute or two, we'll get it for you. But come in and take a look if you would, and visit our website to kind of get a preview of what's to come when you do come out to visit us. But welcome to Interfaith Truth Center this morning. This is our Sunday spiritual gathering service, and we're here every Sunday morning at 11 o'clock for about an hour or so to share, gather and share in the spirit. And my name is Jean Aaron, and I'm fortunate and blessed to be a part of the community and the service and the ministry here at Interfaith. And it's absolutely my honor and privilege to deliver the message this morning. This morning I'm going to be speaking on the importance of our connection with Source. That's my title, in fact. The importance of our connection with Source. And going to share my understanding and my heart and my commitment and my determination in regards to making that connection with Source. And I hope that something I share today will inspire you to up your game if you're so inclined to be committed to being connected to a source, your source. And again, your source is whatever. I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to give it a name for you. I'll share my names. I call my source the maker, my creator. I call my source God. I call my source divine. I call my source universe. I call my source Father. I call my source the great I am. I call my source my higher power, the highest power. That's what I call my source. I have a neighbor, and she calls her source. What do you call your source sometimes?
Mike.
She calls her source Mike sometimes. Whatever is endearing to you, that's what we refer to, and that's what we call God, call our Creator. But what I want you to keep in mind this morning is understand that whatever that is, whatever name that you give it or title that you give your source, that's what it is. And source means basically the beginning of you, where your origination, your starting point, your, minus zero, or whatever. It's your starting point. It's your source of every bit of your life. Every bit of your life, that's the source. Yes. So that's the topic this morning, and I'm going to start by sharing with our affirmation and something that you can carry with you throughout the week, and hopefully you'll see me thread it through the message this morning. But the affirmation that we're using this morning is, it is one of the urges of our nature to reconnect to Source. And we asked to be personal about it, so we say it like this: it is one of the urges of my nature to reconnect to Source, my source, the source. It's only one source, by the way. We're all connected to that same source, but we are uniquely connected in our own individual, personalized ways with that source. I want everybody to understand that totally well. That's why some can call him Mike, and some can call him divine, and some can say Father, because we have different relationships. We relate and connect to Source in a very unique and personal way. In fact, it's so personal that what you hear from Source, whatever you call Source, And what I hear from source may be the same thing, but we receive it differently. We receive it in our own unique way because we're all tuned into a certain vibration or a certain transmission of frequency from our source. And you know why we have to be? Because source has an infinite number of us. And source is the only, the creator is the only one that can identify who I am, as opposed to Virginia or Miss Norma or Lauren. God, Father, divine, knows all the number of hairs on my head, even the ones that I get my daughter to put on sometimes. Yes, that's what source says. That's source. And again, it's very personal, very personal. Now we can call this connection, we can call it, a lot of different things. We can refer to the connection that we make with source. We can call it our daily devotion. We can call it our secret place or our quiet time, our prayer life. We can call it meditation. But the truth or the whole understanding, and if you don't get anything out of this today, understand that our hearts always, will always, forevermore struggle to maintain alone time with source, with God, with creator, with its maker. It struggles to do that. And it struggles because we live in a world that distracts us with so many different things, and life just tries to distract us. But our heart is always, will forever and always yearn, cry out to its maker, its creator, its source. Quite often when we feel that cry out, or we feel that tug, or we feel that yearning, we often, and this is probably human nature, the physical part of us, the three-dimensional man, we immediately look outside of ourselves. We have this desire, we have this burning, we have this yearning, we have this cry out. So we look outside of ourselves to satisfy it. Maybe it's, I need a relationship with my kids. Maybe I need to go buy a pet. Maybe I need to, maybe I need to go to the movie. Maybe I need a new hairdo. Maybe I need to go shopping. Maybe I need that drink. Maybe I need that medicine, those pills. Maybe I need something out here. But let me tell you, and let me assure you, that when the heart is crying out, it's not crying out for absolutely nothing in this world. Nothing outside of your human self. Nothing outside of your inner man, inner being, that part of you that is forever and always connected, whether we are aware and appreciate it and acknowledge it. It's yearning for its source. It's yearning to reconnect, and not just superficially, or not just fly by day, fly by night kind of connection. The heart, the soul, and the spirit wants to connect to its maker. So don't be chasing that satisfaction that your heart is seeking outside of itself. When you sense that pull or that tug or that yearning, turn inside. Go really deep inside, because that little spark that makes you is source. It's your life. It's that life. It's that love. It's that light. It's that power that gives your skin and bones, blood, mobility. And without that, you wouldn't be moving about. So that being, that part that is God, it's yearning to reconnect with that part of you that is God itself. Now understand, again, I want to make this clear, that yearning and that cry out, that cry that you have, that yearning that you have, and sometimes it's a little bit deeper and at times, and sometimes it's just, I just want to go be with God. I just want to be with Father. I just want some downtime. I want some quiet time. I want some alone time. I want to go to my secret place. Or it's so desperately tugging at you that, it stops you in your tracks. Nothing you do or say or anything that people can bring and give you will satisfy that. So sometimes it can be just a little nudge, an urge, and sometimes it can be such a deep, 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 deep yearning that you can't deny it. But it's personal, again. It's very personal and it's unique to you. And it has absolutely nothing to do with religion. Nothing to do with religion. It has absolutely nothing to do with, I'm going to go on a limb here. It's not a corporate exercise. It's not something that we can, let's get together and have our relationship with Father. Because we all have a unique relationship. So it's not a corporate exercise. It's not religious. It's personal and unique to you and Father, you and Maker, you and Source. Now, these are my thoughts, and I always like to preamble I call it my sharing my understanding. I always like to preamble it with, I don't expect anyone to agree with me. But what I do hope is that what I have to say will inspire you enough that you would form your own thoughts about it, come up with your own suggestions about it, and your beliefs about it. Just like it's your relationship. I can tell you about mine, but it's not going to be like yours. It might resonate a little bit with you, but until you experience that relationship for yourself, you're just hearing me talk about mine. So that's what I'm hoping, is that whatever I share this morning, that it will turn you inward, help you understand that yearning and that burning and that pull and that sensation that you feel sometimes that's coming from wherever. You don't know where it's coming from. It's coming from inside of you. It's God. It's deep calling to deep. It's God calling to God. It's God calling to self. Now, there are many, 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 many reasons that I can give you for the importance or the expediency or the urgency for making a connection with Source, with God, and why it should be a priority in your life. I can give you several reasons. I could go on with an endless list. I'm going to give you a few. First of all, being connected with Source, God, Father, Divine, I'm in the flow. I'm much more in the flow of life, of just life. I'm in the flow. When I'm connected with Source, and because I'm connected with Source, I know without a doubt, without not bit of uncertainty, that connection helps me or gives me the understanding, gives me the knowing of the purpose of my existence, why I'm here. If I'm connected to Source, that's downloaded to me. I understand it. I know what it is. And I have the energy and the tenacity and the passion to go for that, to pursue it. When I'm connected to Source, I feel like the universe I'm partnering with the universe. The universe is helping me complete and fulfill my purpose and help me create my realities and my destiny when I'm connected to Source. I got a partner. Universe, Father, God. When I'm connected to Source, and because I'm connected to Source, coincidences that happen in my life, or when the craziness happened in my life, like COVID, and I don't know, a kid falling off the ladder and breaking a bone, or me losing a job, or fun stuff, a new great grandbaby, all of those things that could just happen or could be coincidences, they're okay. They're wonders. They're not, oh my goodness. They're wonders, and they mean something to me when I'm connected to Source. When I'm connected to Source, my intuition is on point. It is on point. When I'm connected, to source. Ego is lucky to have a seat on the front row when I'm connected to source. When I'm connected to source, I can manifest effectively, quicker, and easier. I'm still working on that one. I'm still proclaiming that I am a master manifester. But I'm connected to source. And when I am connected to source, I am a master manifester. When I'm connected to source, things just don't bother me. C'est la vie. It is what it is. It really is what it is. Until the next moment. And it is what that is. I'm more calm. I'm more centered. I'm grounded. I'm ready for the next, I say the best thing or the next worst thing, whatever. I'm flat-footed and I'm ready for the next thing when I'm connected to source. When I'm connected to source, I love you, love you, love you, love you, but I am not worried one bit what you think of me. I love you. But when I'm connected to source, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks of me. And last but not least, and this one is the big one for me because I am who I am, when I am connected to source, I don't take on everybody's problems. I'm here. I offer myself to help, but I'm not going to bang down the door and take your problem from you and work on it and give it back to you. I'll listen to you. I'll share with you. I'll cry with you. I'll laugh with you. I'll strategize with you. But unless it's my problem, I'll just share yours. But I'm not going to take it from you. Those are some of the reasons that I have. Just a few. I could go on. And I know you could probably add yours to the list too, because I know that you all have a reason to be urgent, to prioritize your relationship and your connection with source. You have a list of your own, I'm sure. But I'm going to stop my list right there. Leave it there. And I want to ask you, what about your connection? What about your connection with source? Do you have a connection? You do have a connection. Do you acknowledge that you have a connection? Are you aware of that connection? How often are you aware of that connection? What do you do? What do you do when that yearning and that cry out happens to you? What do you do? Do you go outside to seek something, anything, whatever? Or do you turn inward to just see what it is that maybe source has to give you or talk to you about or share with you? I call it download, you know. Do you stop in the morning when you wake up, upon waking? Do you stop to consider and just be aware that as you take that first breath of your waking hour, that you are, that breath itself confirms that you're connected to source? Do you stop? Become aware of that? Express your appreciation? Do you? Do you add it to your list of benefits for being connected to source? There are an limitless number of reasons or causes or benefits to being connected. And we should all realize and know that our connection and our communication with source, with God, whatever you call Mike, whatever you call divine, whatever you call Father, is important. Sorry about that. Thought I turned it off. Is important. And it is the most important connection and relationship that you could have. The most important one, by far. By far. I was laughing because I was reading somewhere this week when I was kind of meditating and studying and preparing for the message. We talked about the cell phone. How we are so connected to the cell phone. Got mine. You got yours? I know we got it. You got your cell phone, don't you? Don't leave home without it. Almost like American Express. But the truth of the matter is, we should be as determined, frantic. I don't know. I panic sometimes when I realize that I left my phone at home. We should be as panicked and fretful and I don't know. The world's going to fall apart because I forgot my phone. I got to stop. I got to go back to, We should be that frantic about our connection with Source, because
Hello?
without that connection, phone answered. Without that connection, we would be not. We would not be. I was trying to think what we would not be, right? So without that connection, so we should be as adamant, as urgent, as expedient about the connection, our relationship, our communication with Source, as we are with that phone. And that was the easiest one for me to figure out, because we are all tied to the hip with that thing. We are. As conscious and aware and awakened beings who we are reminded that we need constant relations and connections with our great Creator, Father, Divine, Universe, God. We all need a constant and consistent connection with our source. And we're like I said, we're connected anyway, but being aware of it gives you clout, gives you power, gives you the opportunity to actually appreciate the benefits, identify the benefits, be a part of the benefits, partner with the universe. You're going to create whether you're aware, whether you do it with awareness, deliberation, half asleep. You're going to create. You're going to manifest. You want to manifest better? You want life to be better? Become aware of who you are and whose you are. Now, I've got four things that I want to kind of raise to the top of the list of reasons or essentials for being connected. And I'm going to talk about these four, and then I'm going to be done. The first one is our connection to God, to Source, allows us the opportunity to discover and appreciate the truth of who, what, and whose we are. Number one. The second suggestion that I have, and again, they're suggestions, you think about them, and you can make your own list up, but just think about these, give this some thought. The second one that I would suggest is that our connection to God makes us cleans us up. It helps us to grow and bear good and beneficial spiritual fruits, which rolls over or eventually becomes our good life that we manifest. Right? Because the better the foundation, or the stronger the tree, the better those apples that's going to fall off. So that connection helps us be and produce good fruit in our life. Start spiritually, but what's inside, we bring it out. And the third reason is the one that our connection with God leads us to life and love and light and all of those things in the fullest, in abundance, overflowing, if you would. And the fourth is that our connection to God directs us to a clear vision and understanding of our eternal inheritance and the purpose of our existence. Eternal means beyond the 70, 80, 90, my family lives to be 100 and some, 100 years. Beyond that, eternal means forever. Many lives, physical lives, long life. Now again, I read somewhere this week, and it was I really liked this particular quote I read this week, and it said something like, by staying connected to Source, you will not only survive, you will thrive. It's good to survive. It's good to have breath every morning and be able to breathe. I think about my mom, who's an Alzheimer's patient, and we're thankful every day that we see her and she's laying there and surviving. But I remember the days when she was thriving and she was running around and growing things and planting things. So surviving is okay. Somebody get to enjoy your presence. But to thrive, now that's what I want. Don't you? So, yes. So I did like that. Well, anyway, I'm going to talk about number one. Number one was our connection to God allows us the opportunity to discover and appreciate the truth of who we are. Now, it may sound odd, but it is, and maybe not, because I think hopefully it's for us anyway here. We understand that it's through relationships. It's through relationships that we define who we are. We all probably know that. And if you didn't, you know it now. It is actually through relationships that we tell each other who we are and express who we are. Right? You've probably heard me, if you've heard me speak anytime, you've heard me say that relationships are like mirrors, reflecting back from you to who I am. I understand who I am by relating to you. We think that I'm learning who you are, but the bottom line is I'm learning who I am through relating with you. And if I was smart and I maintained that connection with Source, and I'm aware of it and I'm cultivating it and I'm attending to it, God will show me. You need to tweak that gene. You know that trigger that Virginia, that happened with you guys yesterday? Gives you something to work with. Oh, you didn't like that, huh? Mm-mm. Well, okay. You got something to work on. Instead of, I just need to go tell Virginia and get her fixed and get her straightened out. No. These triggers are for me. All right? So, and I'm saying that because with God, when we acknowledge and accept God as our source, and we embrace that fact and that truth as our creator and our maker, being the most important relationship, the first relationship, the most important relationship, when we discover that, then we begin to recognize who we are. Because we're like our maker. We're like our creator. We're like Father. We're like divine. We're like our source. So when we relate to God and have that relationship and that communication with God, that's when we get to know who we are. Who we are, that eternal part of us. I get to know who I am physically by relating to you, and to my family, physical family, my earthly family. But if I really want to know who that being is that sustains my life, that animates me, then I need to go to the maker, the creator, and relate, communicate, commune, get to know Father, get to know Source, so I get to know that God piece of me. And once I realize that, once I know that, and I appreciate it, I'm pretty darn special. I'm a masterpiece. I'm a masterpiece created by Father, by my divine, by my maker. So out of all of our relationships that we could have with each other and one another, the one that identifies that inherited nature in me, that part of me that is eternal, that's going to live beyond the 100 years plus that hopefully I'll mimic my family, or whatever years, the number of years we live. That being in me, that life in me, that God life in me that's going to go on. I get to, that's the nature, that's that inherent nature that yearns to connect with its source. And you'll hear me say this as well. When we get to know our maker and our creator and understand that God is limitless, I usually say unlimited, but God is limitless. There's no limits to God. And we understand that I'm like God. Then I understand what I am. So I understand what I am. God is creator. I look at this beautiful world that God created and all of nature sings, and around me sings. I love that song. I think of Father. I think of Source. God created this. I can create too. Well, trees are already here. The birds are already, bees and flowers, they're done. God's done that. So I get to create a few things. I get to manifest some things in my world, in my destiny, just like Father, just like my maker. And when I understand that, I'm limitless like my Father. I create like my Father. I manifest like my Father. He did it in 7 days, I think the Bible says, but I don't know. A day, and I don't know about that. But anyway, we understand that we are masterpieces. We're special. We're the only creation that God created, that Maker created, that He desires, or God desires a relationship with. You think about that? A relationship is a two-way. We can go out and appreciate the trees, but we can't talk to them. Yeah. So God created us. Our Maker created us for a relationship, for connection. So that's why we get that deep feeling, that yearning. We were created to connect, to relate. When we come to know and understand that who we are, what we are, and whose we are, then we understand our worth and our value of ourselves. And again, not just talk about this body, but remember, that's part of your creation too, and you should appreciate that, and you should respect and honor that, and value that. Take care of it. But understand the value of who and what you are as a whole person, not just part of you. And when you understand that, when you understand who and what and whose you are, that is a reason enough. That's one of the best reasons to remain connected, and to understand that, and to appreciate that knowing and that power and the source, that what's available to you. Understanding what's available to you. The second thing was our connection would make us clean and help us bear good fruit. We're connected to how many trees do you know that can bear fruit if we cut it off? If we cut that limb cut the limb off the tree. The fruit that was on it's gonna dry up and die, right? So staying connected is just like a tree, a limb on a tree, or the vine, or the limb on a vine. Staying connected maintains that life force in you, so that the fruit that you bear is firm and solid and good, and you're able to present it from your spirit to manifest it into reality, into your natural, into your physical. If you're connected, you can do it pretty fast. That's what I'm working on. I'm like that microwave person. Okay, I want it right away. I want it, then I want it. I want to see it. I want it, I want to see it. But we're working on that. And I think we used an example. I think I used an example this week talking about water and a lamp. How long, or how do you turn on a lamp if the cord's not plugged into the outlet? It's not plugged into the source. It's not going any far. Or, okay, say you got a battery. Yeah. As long as that battery has juice in it, it's okay. But if it's not connected to us, if the battery, think about your car. You have to replace that battery every now and again, don't you? Unless you got an electric car. It's not connected to a power source. It's just a cell of energy. Just like we are. If we disconnect ourselves from a God or from source, we're just like a battery. Life is going to happen to us. We're going to be using up energy. We don't have any supply coming in. Eventually, it's going to be done. And we're going to be like, I don't know, like a robot, maybe, that forgot to get plugged in. Or like your electric car, for instance, that you forgot to plug it in, okay? Don't get caught on the freeway when your battery go down, okay? Just like us. We don't want to get caught in this crazy mad place in life, and we're out of juice, we're out of love, we're out of life, we're out of light. Stay connected to the source. That's the only way that you're going to guarantee that the things that you want in life, that you want to produce in life, it's going to get produced, they're going to get manifest, they're going to get created. Because if you're not plugged in, you're just maybe you might have enough gas to get to the corner, but you want to go further than the corner, y'all. Okay. The third thing was that God leads us to life and life more abundant. God is the source of all, absolutely all. Source, it's everything. You want it? Go to source. Source. God has access to it all. He created it. He made it. So of course, everything and anything God has access to. I want to be connected to somebody that's got it all, got access to it. When I go to, when my kids would come to me, or they would go to my purse. They would go to my purse trying to find a quarter or a dollar when they're kids, and they're looking for gum or whatever, or coins. They go to my purse. There's only so many coins in that purse. There's only so many pieces of gum in my purse. But if you want an endless supply, then you go to the source that's got the endless supply. Your limitless Father, your limitless source. So staying connected to source and God gives you access to that. Gives you access to everything. Of course you are a limitless being because you're connected to a limitless source. Disconnect from that source, you're on your own until your juice runs out. Stay connected. You can go back to the lamp and you can go back to the light bulb. Stay connected. And the fourth thing I said that God, being connected to God, directs us to a clear vision and understanding of our eternal inheritance and purpose, and the purpose of our existence. God, source, creator, divine, universe, is wisdom. Is wisdom. You want understanding? Plug into understanding. You want electricity? Plug into electricity. You want wisdom? Plug into wisdom. God is wisdom. Source is wisdom. Now there's a scripture, I think it's in the New Testament, and I wrote it down. It was James 1:5. It tells us that if we ask for wisdom, God will give it generously without finding fault, or without charging you interest on it, or without having you sign up for it. Just plug in. Just stay plugged in and say, Father, I want to understand such and such. Or why is this? Or help me get an understanding and a meaning from this situation. You want the answer. Go to wisdom to seek it. We tell our kids, they ask us how to spell something. We say, go to the dictionary. You want something. You want to understand something. You want to know something. You want to know why you're here. You want to know why this is happening, or that's happening, or that did, or that didn't. Go to source. And like the word says, God will give you wisdom. He'll give you understanding without finding fault. You don't have to have a library card. You don't have to have a driver's license. You just have to have Father and source. God knew us, each one of us. And I want to go back to all of this is personalized wisdom. I can go to God and I can say, God, I just want to know why this person do such and such and such. What does that have to do with Eugene? Well, I can go and ask God to help me understand or receive wisdom. You have to go and get your wisdom. I can't go get your wisdom for you. I can share the wisdom that God gives me with you. But when you go and get wisdom, it's your perception of it and your reception of it is on your frequency. It's your frequency. So that's why I say, I don't want you to agree with me, but I want to trigger you enough that you will understand the importance of what you have available to you, just like I have. We all have. And I want to encourage you, and you can encourage me Stay connected. Sustain that relationship. Sustain that connection. Gene, your head's hanging down. You're looking at the floor. What's the matter? You're not connected. Remind me. If you see a frown on my face, or you see a worry line on my face, you're not connected. Are you connected? Check your connection, Gene. And I'd appreciate that. So I share with you what is given, and my understanding, my wisdom is given to me, that it would prompt you to understand that God has wisdom with your name on it. It's not Gene, unless your name is Gene too. But then he knows every gene from every gene, okay? He knows genes. He knows the differences in the genes. Oh, I like that. So go get your wisdom. Seek God for yourself and on your own and in your language, on your frequency, at your vibration. Because God created you just specifically for whatever your purpose in life is. And he didn't tell me what it was, because he figured that I had enough to deal with my own. So know this. When we are connected to Source, we're aligned. When we are aligned, we are inspired to act. You'll come alive with ideas. You'll come alive with your dreams. You'll have desires. And you'll want to manifest them and bring them into your reality so that you can experience them and share them with whomever you want to share them with. When you're aligned, you're inspired to create and manifest. Inspire means spirit. It means that spirit man in you, that inner man, that heart, that soul. When you're connected and aligned to Source, you're also aligned to who you are. And you're aligned to all of the gifts, all of the talent, all of the desires, everything. Nothing is withheld from you. And you'll hear me say that often too. God created you with the same, your Source created you and made you with the same, out of the same stuff and with the same life and love and light that Source has. And Source withholds none of that from you. Every bit of the limitless Source, limitless life, limitless love, limitless love and light and love that Source has, you have access to it. If you acknowledge and you embrace and you take advantage of that connection that you have. I want to share this last quote, and it was something that Deborah King, Dr. Martin Luther King's youngest daughter, she said this, and I found it as I was studying, and she said, "You're always trying to get back to the light so you can reconnect with your higher self and Source. That's why you're on this spiritual journey, why you are seeking. In your soul, you know you are on his earth, but you're not of his earth. You know the difference between spiritual and natural, the natural man, the physical man. You understand that this is not all there is. You understand that. And the lesson is to rediscover the truth of who you are. You can only do that through connecting and maintaining a connection. You learn faster and more, and you're able to manifest and create and inspire and dream and desire and have and do more. That's all I have for you this morning. That's the end of my message. I hope it triggered something in you that inspired you to be as frantic about your connection with God as you are with your cell phone. God bless you, and manifest, manifest, manifest. Thank you.